Hi, how are you? And welcome to Love Doing Yoga. Thank you so much for joining me. And congratulations for getting to the mat on a bank holiday Monday and making this time for yourself. I hope you enjoy what I've put together for our practice today. As always, listen to your body throughout the practice. And if anything doesn't feel right, just stop and wait and join in when you're ready. Don't overdo it, but at the same time, feel free to challenge yourself, bring yourself to the edge, but listen to your body. So let's start by lying down. And just finding a position that feels right for you today as we begin to draw ourselves inward and come into the present. So you can have your legs out long or your knees bent or the soles of your feet touching, whatever feels good to you. And let's just allow everything to slow down. Bringing ourselves into this present moment. Setting aside everything that's going on in your life today. For the next hour, you have no roles, no responsibilities, no agenda, nothing to do, but spend time connecting your mind with your body through your breath. And let's just begin to notice our senses, tuning into our sense of hearing, noticing the sounds in the room and afar. Letting them take up all of your attention as they drift through you. And then moving that attention to your sense of smell. Noticing the smells in the room. No need to identify them, just allow them to be. And moving your attention to your sense of sight. Noticing that screen at the back of your eyelids and what it presents to you today. The colors, the shapes, the movement. Just staying with that. And drawing your attention now to your sense of touch, noticing your connection points with the mat. How you're being held there, supported. Noticing the temperature of your skin, the texture of your clothes. And still with your eyes closed, allow your inner gaze to move downward towards your heart center. As we begin to tune into our breath, breathing in through your nose, into your belly, allowing the belly to expand on the inhale, and then exhaling through the nose as the belly contracts. And just beginning to count that inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice that little gap at the top, and then exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a little gap. And as you inhale and exhale, see, can you exhale, make your exhale just a count or two longer than your inhale. Taking 3 more breaths here, listening to the sound of your own breath. And on your next inhale, bending the knees if they're not already bent, bringing the feet to the floor. Let's just hug those knees into the chest. And as we're here, let's begin to point and flex those feet. And to circle the feet, first in one direction and then in the opposite direction. And coming to stillness, just holding on to the backs of your thighs. We're going to lift our right leg up and bring it down, and lift the left leg up and bring it down, and lifting and dropping each lower leg alternately as we begin to wake up the knees. And coming to stillness, allowing that left foot to drift to the floor, hugging the right knee in towards your armpit. Holding it here for 1 more breath. And then allowing that right foot to come across the left leg and thinking about pushing that right knee away from your center. Keeping the right foot flexed. One more breath, and bringing that foot to the floor. Let's take up the left foot, hugging the knee into the armpit. And then bringing that left leg across the right leg, and thinking about that knee moving away from your center. And bringing both feet to the floor, let's just raise our arms up over our heads to the floor behind us and down by our sides. And again, up and over and down by the sides, syncing it with the breath now as we inhale, raising the arms up and over, and exhaling, bringing them down. 1 more time. And as we come to stillness with our arms, let's just begin to bring a little bit of movement into the neck. So on our inhale, allowing the head to turn to the right. And as we exhale, back to center. And inhale, turning it to the left. And center. Right. Center. Left. Center. And now just rolling over onto your side, making your way up all the way to tabletop. So we're on all fours here with our fingers open nice and wide. Shoulders over wrists, little micro bend in the elbow. And those elbow creases should be facing each other. And looking back, having those hips over the knees and the feet straight out behind you. And we're just going to do a couple of spinal rolls to get things moving with our back. So from this neutral spine, let's just allow the belly to drop down, the pelvis to tilt, and the chest to open as we lift our gaze in front of us. And then curling from the tailbone all the way through the spine to the crown of the head. And once again, as we move into our cow pose, dropping the belly, tilting the pelvis, opening the chest and raising the gaze. And transitioning into that cat pose as we curl from the tailbone all the way to the crown of our head. Let's just sync that with our breath, inhaling into our cow and exhaling into cat. Two more here. And as we come to stillness, we're going to make our way into our first dog of the day. So curling those toes, lifting the knees up off the floor, push those hips back and begin to rise up. So as it's our first dog, let's keep those knees bent and just pedal out those feet. Nice and slow, letting the hips swing from side to side, easing into it. And eventually finding your point of stillness, wherever that is for you. So it's fine to be like this with your knees bent and your heels up. But let's see, can you find that space in the spine so that your hips are pushed towards the back of the mat? And your ears are in line with your arms. So it usually helps if you bring your gaze towards your belly button. That keeps your head in a nice long position. And from here, let's just walk it up to the top of the mat. And I'm going to just come around to this side, this end. And from here, standing with your feet hip distance. So you can be at the top of your mat. I just want to show you here what I mean. So your feet are hip distance. Your hips aren't very wide. Really only about a fist in between your feet, in between your legs will give you hip distance. Checking down at the feet, have a look, see are they in a nice straight line. Just pressing gently into your big toe and lifting those kneecaps up a little bit so you're bringing a bit of engagement into the quads here. Opening out the chest. Let's just open the palms to the front. Feel how that just gives you space in the chest. And thinking about the head now being straight up, almost like there's somebody pulling a little cord out of the top of your head. And closing the eyes here, let's just, as we breathe, think about finding space in that spine. As we inhale, opening the spine up, feeling ourselves grow, and as we exhale, just easing into that extra space we've provided for ourselves with our breath. One more breath here. And let's do a couple of sun salutes to warm ourselves up. So if you're familiar with sun salutes, go ahead at your own pace. If you're not so familiar, stick with me. Let's start by opening the arms out, raising them up and lifting our gaze up to meet our hands and swooping down. You can open your arms out wide as you swoop down to come into a forward fold. Bend your knees here as much as you need to get your hands towards the floor. And then let's take a halfway lift. So hands just above the knees, keeping that gaze on the floor and dropping down into your forward fold. We're going to step that right leg back as far back as it can go and then drop that right knee, opening out the foot. And with the front, see can you keep your knee over your ankle? It just protects that lower leg for you, and raise the arms up, raising the gaze as well into our low lunge. Hands down either side of the foot, and we're going to step back into a plank, taking a round of breath here, and then allowing the knees to come to the floor, open out the feet, keep those elbows in as we drop the chest down, bottom is still in the air, and roll through into a little cobra. So trying to keep that gaze straight down on the floor in front of you, pushing up through tabletop, curling those toes, pushing the hips back up into our dog. From here, we want to get that right leg up between those hands. So you've got a choice of how you do this. You can come down onto all fours, step that right leg up, or you can just bring it forward to wherever it goes and lift it the rest of the way, or you can step it through, whatever works for you. Dropping that left knee, open out the foot and rise up. And hands down either side of the foot, stepping that left foot up. Let's come all the way up to the top. Great stuff. Let's take that on the other side. Opening the arms up, raising the gaze as we sweep down into a forward fold. And halfway lift. And a forward fold. Let's step that left leg back, dropping the knee, open the foot, rising up. And hands down to step back into your plank. And then knees, feet, chest, rolling through cobra and pushing up into your tabletop. Curling those toes, pushing the hips back, lifting the knees to come up into your dog. We want to get that left leg up between the hands, whatever way, by whatever means possible. Stepping the left foot up to the front, dropping that right knee, open out the foot, rising up into our low lunge. And hands down either side of the foot, step that right foot forward, bending the knees as we make our way up to the top. Great stuff. Let's take that again on either side. Arms up in the air and sweeping down into a swan dive forward fold. Halfway lift. And forward fold. Right leg goes back, dropping that right knee, open the foot and come up into your low lunge. And hands down either side of the foot to step back into your plank. And knees, feet, chest with those elbows in, rolling through into a cobra and pushing up through tabletop into your downward dog. Getting that right foot up to the top of the mat in whatever way works for you. Keeping that right knee over the right ankle as we rise up into our low lunge. Hands down either side of the foot, stepping that back foot up to meet the front and coming all the way up. Let's take it on the other side, forward fold and a halfway lift. Forward fold, stepping that left leg back, open out, dropping the knee, open out the foot, arms up, gaze up, and hands down either side of the foot to step back into our plank, and then coming down through knees, feet, chest, and cobra. Pushing up through our tabletop into our downward dog. And stepping that left leg forward and dropping the right knee, open out the foot and come all the way up. Hands down either side of the foot, stepping the right foot up to meet the left. And coming all the way up. Once more either side, raising the arms up and a forward fold. Halfway lift. Forward fold, right leg back, dropping the knee, open the foot, rising up into our low lunge. Hands down to step back into our plank, and then knees, feet, chest, rolling through into your little back bend cobra and pushing up through tabletop into your downward dog. Right leg comes up between the hands, dropping that left knee, open the foot and bring the arms up. And hands down either side of the foot, stepping the left leg up to meet the front, bending the knees to make your way up to the top. Last time, forward fold and halfway lift. And forward fold, let's step the left leg back, dropping the knee, open the foot and come up into your low lunge. Hands down either side of the foot, stepping back into your plank. And coming down, knees, feet, chest, cobra. Keeping those elbows back in the cobra and pushing up through tabletop into your downward dog. Left leg up in the air, stepping it through, dropping that right knee, open out the foot and bring the arms up and the gaze. Hands down either side of the foot, stepping that right foot up, bend those knees as you make your way all the way up to the top and bringing the hands into prayer. So as if you weren't hot enough already on a day like today, hopefully that has you even warmer. So from here, let's just bring both the feet together and the heels just a little bit apart. So the toes are together, heels are a little bit apart. And from here, clasping the hands, let's raise them up over the head and raise the gaze up to the hands. And let's just take a little bend towards the left. And in this bend, let's bring our attention to our breath as we inhale and find length in the spine, and exhale to see, can we take that bend just a millimeter deeper, keeping the bend true so we're coming straight over as opposed to leaning forward as we bend. One more breath and coming back to the center. Let's take it over to the right. Inhaling, finding that length, and exhaling to bring in a little bit more bend. And one more breath. Making your way back up to the top, bringing those arms down by your side, left hand
onto your hip. We're just going to take our right arm over and see, can you get a little bit more of a bend this way? Feeling that openness of that right side, giving lots of space to the right lung. And coming back through center, let's take it over to the other side. And one more breath here. And coming back to the center. And from here, we're going to lift that right leg up and balance on the left leg. So if you're struggling with balance, and some days are better than others for balance, just be sure to have a wall or a chair or something you can put your hand on to help you, and then see, can you let it go for a second or two to find that balance. So we're just going to, for now, lift our right leg up and hug it in. Trying here to pull up through that standing inside thigh, so that left thigh. Thinking about finding stability in that. Find a gaze point. Hold your gaze nice and soft. Keeping an equal weight across the whole of that standing foot. Really good if you're still up. Well done. One more breath. And slowly, with control, we're going to allow that right leg to come to the floor. Good. Just bending those knees back and forth to loosen it out. And we're going to take it into a tree. So you might help to start with a tree, to have your hands on your hips, turning your right foot out to a right angle so that your knee is pointing towards the short side of the mat. And we're going to just lift this right leg up. So you can have it on your ankle here, or you're going to come over like me, or on your calf, but keeping it well away from your knee. If you want to take it higher, you can, but again, just make sure it's well away from the knee. Pushing that heel, pushing the foot into the leg, and the leg into the foot. Finding your point of balance, nice gaze point. And from here, you might want to bring the arms up over the head. Really good. Or you may want to open them out. Taking 2 more breaths. Keeping that attention on the breath, and slowly, with control, allowing the foot to come to the floor. Good, and from here, opening the arms out into a T, we're just going to take a twist to the left. So we're turning our chest rather than our head. So the arms and the chest all come in this nice twist. And as we're in this twist, think about inhaling and finding that length in the spine. And exhaling to take that twist just a little bit deeper. Good, one more breath here. And bringing it back to center, let's take it over to the right. And back to the center, bringing the arms up over the head, clasping them as we find that length, find that space. And we're going to bring the hands down into prayer. If the feet have gone a little bit apart, bring them together. So we've got the toes together, the heels a little bit apart. Let's sit back into a chair. So we're pushing the hips back as we come into that half-seated position. And we're going to take a little twist here to the right. So your left elbow is coming onto your right leg. Having that chest nice and bright, nice and open. One more breath here. And coming through center to the other side. Keeping that attention on the breath as you inhale through your nose, into your belly, and out through your nose. And coming back to center, allowing the hands to come onto the floor. And let's make our way back up to the top. Good. Let's take that on the other side. So shifting the weight into that right leg, we're going to lift that left leg up. And trying to find straightness here. So equal weight across that standing foot. And now allowing your scan of your alignment to move upward. See, if I think about it too much, it throws me off balance. Keeping your hips over your heels. Shoulders over hips. And finding stillness. Keeping that gaze soft. One more breath. And allowing the foot to come down. And moving it into our tree. So our left foot is pointing towards the end of the mat. Knee turned, obviously in line with the foot. Shifting our weight into that right foot. Let's lift the left foot up onto the calf or onto the thigh. Keeping your gaze soft. Straightening up through the thigh with the standing leg. Bringing those hands together in prayer. Raising the arms up over the head and opening them out. Finding that gaze point, keeping it soft. And bringing the attention to the breath. And noticing how when you have to focus on your balance, suddenly the mind is still. And bringing the hands together, allowing everything to come down to the floor, toes together, heels a little bit apart. Let's open those arms out once again into their T shape and take that twist to the left. Softening the shoulders, staying tall, noticing how the chest is lovely and open with the arms out. Keeping that chin over the center of your chest. And as we inhale, finding length in the spine. As we exhale, taking the twist just a little bit deeper. And coming back through center, let's take that over to the other side. And once again, coming back to the center, bringing those hands into prayer as we bend the knees and come down into our chair, pushing those hips down. Let's take that twist to the right. Having that left elbow on the right leg. And coming through center to take it to the other side. And back into the center here. Let's heel toe the feet out, having them so they're about maybe 3 hip distance apart, having the feet turned maybe slightly inward and rising up.
Let's open the arms out here and really feel into the full extent of our bodies here. So thinking about a cord coming up through your head up to the ceiling, about gentle threads on your fingers attached to either wall on either side. They're not pulling, they're just very gently supporting. Noticing your feet and the extent to which they're open. The legs are nice and wide, finding stability here. And as you exhale, thinking about lifting the pelvic floor, bringing that belly button in and up as we bring a little bit of engagement into our core here. And bringing the arms down, let's turn this right foot to the front, bending that right knee. So your heels are in a straight line with each other. Let's drop the right arm onto that right leg and raise the left arm up over the head. So we've got a really nice long side angle bend here. And feeling that lovely stretch from your fingers right down the whole side of your body, the left side of your body. Taking one more breath here. And let's allow that left hand to come down and the right hand turning over on that left foot. We're going to step the right leg back. So we're in our downward dog. And have those knees as bent as you wish here and your heels up off the floor if you wish. But let's raise the right leg up. Keeping the right toes pointing towards the floor. Feeling length in that spine. Taking one more breath here. And we're going to bring that right leg forward. And you can help it along like you do in the sun salute. And from here, keeping that back heel up off the floor and keep a bend in the right knee. Raise the arms up into a high lunge. Good. Let's hold this here for one more breath. And then bringing the hands down either side of that foot, we're going to raise the left leg up, keeping the left toes pointing down. Good. And slowly allowing that foot to come to the floor as we rise up again and bring the arms out behind us for a nice open chest. Good. Bringing the hands onto the hips, let's come to the wide, long side of the mat once again with those legs open wide and opening out the hands. Good. Finding that space here, breathing into all of those extended points, into your fingertips, into your toes, into the sides of your feet, into the crown of your head. And from here, bringing those hands onto the hips, let's turn that left foot towards the
back or front of the mat, whatever way you are located, bending that left knee and allowing the left arm to come on to that left leg as we raise the arm up into our side angle pose, having your chest nice and open here. So we've got a really nice long side angle stretch. Taking one more breath here. And then bringing that right hand down as we swivel onto that right leg and stepping back into our dog. Finding nice length here, and then let's raise up that left leg. I hope I am. I don't want to have you doing it on the wrong side. So having that left leg up and the toes pointing towards the floor. Good, one more breath here. And then let's step that left foot forward, keeping that right heel up. But notice that now your feet are hip distance apart. As we rise up into our high lunge, bringing the arms up. Good. And allowing the hands to come forward. Let's shift our weight onto that left foot and raise the right leg up, keeping those toes pointing towards the floor. Good. And allowing that right leg to come to the floor so that you can get your right heel on the ground as we rise up into our warrior one with our arms behind us so our chest is nice and open. Keeping those shoulders soft. One more breath here. And stepping that right leg up to meet the left. I have you up here, I'll stay here with you, raising those arms up. Let's come into a forward fold. And a halfway lift. And forward fold. Let's step that left leg back and then the right, so we come into a plank here. Keeping a little micro bend in the elbows, bringing those knees down. Feet, chest, and pushing all the way up into a tabletop and making our way down to sit on the floor. That's all of your standing stuff finished, you'll be glad to hear. As we're sitting here, thinking about having equal weight on both seat bones. Keeping those shoulders over the hips, sitting up tall, toes pointing up towards the ceiling. And you can bring your hands just a little behind the hips here to help keep that chest open. And from here, you can bend both knees a little bit. We're going to reach forward to our left foot with our right hand and raise the leg up. You might want to stay like this, or if you'd like something a little more challenging, you can straighten out that left leg and begin to straighten out the right leg. You can stay like this, or if you like, you can lift that left arm, bringing it out. So we've got a nice little twist going on here. As we breathe into it, Finding that point of balance. Taking one more breath. And then bringing the hand back as we allow the foot to come to the floor. Let's take that over to the other side. So holding on to the right foot with the left hand and opening out that right hand so you have a little bit of a twist. Taking 2 more breaths here. And coming all the way back to the center, bringing both feet in, holding on to both of your feet here. We're going to lift up and find your point of balance here. And when you found it, you can stay like this, or if you like, you can begin to bring straightness into those legs. Thinking about keeping those shoulders down, so they're going to want to creep up. Keeping the shoulders down. Taking one more breath here. And then allowing those feet to come to the ground. Let's just hug around our shins here. Bringing the head down. And as we come up, let's make our way down onto the mat, lying all the way down. And just bringing the soles of the feet together, letting those knees open, and gently just rocking those knees, almost like they're wings flying. And then finding stillness here. Noticing if there's any areas of tightness or tension that need your attention. And if there is, think about directing your breath here. And bringing those knees together, you can hug the knees into the chest and just gently massage your back here in whatever way it's suggesting to you. And allowing those feet to come to the floor, and just let the knees drop over to the left, opening out the arms and turning your gaze to the right. And bringing those knees through center, allowing them and to come over to the other side. One more breath here. And bringing your knees back to the center, you can just begin to settle yourself in for your final resting pose in Shavasana. And I will just, as you get settled in here, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me this evening, for giving of your time. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, we're here live every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 6 o'clock. We'd love to have you along. If you like what we do, we would love your support. You can become a patron from as little as €5 a month, and you get access to all of the practices, so you can do them at a time that is most convenient to you. And you get a couple of bonus practices in there too. So I will bid you namaste now, as I invite you to settle yourself in here with your legs outstretched, feet falling gently outward, palms facing the ceiling. And just begin to really let go. Allowing your body to absorb all of that work it's just done. Let's let go your toes, the soles of your feet, the tops of your feet, your heels and ankles. Let go your shins and calves, the fronts of your knees, the backs of your knees, the fronts of your thighs, the backs of your thighs, the whole of your legs. Just let it go. Letting go your glutes, your pelvic area, your belly, the small of your back, the back of your rib cage, the front of your rib cage. Letting go your chest and shoulder blades. Letting go the tops of your arms, your elbows and forearms, your wrists, the backs of your hands, the palms of your hands, your fingers. Just let them go. Letting go the back of your head, the crown of your head, your forehead, eyebrows, eyes, cheeks, jaws, chin, lips and tongue. Just let it all go. And just noticing your breath as you breathe in through your nose, into your belly, and out through your nose. Just observing it as you gently breathe in rhythm. And allowing yourself here to connect with your inner self. Allowing yourself to drift to your favorite place. To fill yourself with gratitude